Por culpa mía que se fue lo del otro. Yo no sé por qué empiezo. Porque me tiene que quitar este registro.
My name is Steve Tate. I paint under the name of Shiba Art. A lot of people have asked me why I do that. Why not put Steve Tate on my art? A lot of people have feared that over the years that no one would know, who Shiba is and not connect that name to me as the artist. And the answer to that is that the art has never really been about me. It's been about something else, and I never really knew what that was. And I never wanted my ego to get in the way of my paint, so my art. So I felt that if I used another name to represent myself, that the ego wouldn't get in the way. It's a funny thing when you see a lot of artists sign art, not that it's a bad thing or a wrong thing, there is no wrong or right, but you'll see the name expressed pretty big on the art. And I've always felt that my art anyways, I don't want anyone to necessarily look at a signature and take their eyes off the art. It's kind of like a spider web. If you look at a spider web and you see the spider on it, then you gravitate towards the spider and you don't appreciate the web itself. And that's why I've never signed anything on the front, and also why I don't paint under my name, Steve Tate. My medium is mixed media. I've been working with paints and stains and textures and polyurethanes for about 16 years, and really became almost scientific about it. The way that the temperature, the ambient temperature, the humidity, and the composition of paint all come together. There's titanium dioxides and resins and solids and all kinds of different things in paint, and when you manipulate them, they do different things. And I became a real student of learning how I can manipulate the paint, and also how the temperature, humidity, and different factors create something different. And I really enjoy doing that process, because if you look around in the studio, you'll notice that every single piece in here is different. And I can't reproduce them. No one else can reproduce them. I don't know if that's good or bad. A lot of people would like to have some of the stuff I've done in the past, but it just doesn't work out that way. Everything's different because of when I paint, the temperature is different, the humidity is different. I've changed the actual composition of the paint, and it's formed and done its own thing. And that inspires me as well. Inspires me to come back the next day and to look at the piece and see what it did, how it turned out. Rapala, my wife, for years gets off on coming out the next day and seeing me down on my hands and knees and just really studying every square inch of the piece of art, whether I like it or not. A lot of the pieces, I might not even like that particular piece, but I still enjoy looking at what came out of it. What happened that day with the temperature and the composition of the paint and the humidity and the way it laid out, even though it may not be a piece that I take forward or even present to the public. I feel that art it's been a lot of different places. I mean, my goodness, without the artists and the musicians of the world, where would we all be? Because those are the dreamers, they're the lovers, they're the people that keep our lives less than mundane. If we didn't have the musicians and we didn't have art, then I would dread that this would be a very boring life. Indeed, I think a lot of people probably feel the same way. My role as an artist in society is to help explain art, to help people understand what art is and what it means and the value that it means to their home and their environment, because people choose art for a lot of different reasons. A lot of it's based on their personality, what what they see in themselves in a piece of art. Other people choose art because of the color, or the feel, or the energy. And I think the role as an artist is to help portray that, help people come to that conclusion as they're looking at a piece of art to get into their psyche, so to speak, and help them to engage in that piece of art so when they take it home, it's not just something that goes on the wall, it becomes a part of their living environment, so to speak. And I really get off on that, I always have. I've loved that process, and that's why I deliver every piece of art that I sell. I don't let anyone take anything out of the gallery. I like to take it to their home and be a part of hanging it and putting it in the right place and hanging it the right way, and to see the thrill in their face, and that they got something that just turned their house on completely, you know. Maybe it was a beautiful home to begin with, but it lacked that one thing that turned it on, that made it a reality, and I love being there when that happens. It's very exciting. I've always enjoyed it.